Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we are starting Wolfenstein: The New Order. Now you may see that it says resume here. That's because I've already played this game for about 2 hours, and I'm starting over from the beginning. That happens sometimes in video games, and so there's some new things now that I've gotten back to the main menu after having played the first level that we could look at that are kind of spoilerish. So I'd say go ahead and skip probably 5 minutes ahead if you don't want to see those. For instance, now I can see that there is 2 timelines, something I found out in playing, and that there are apparently 16 chapters for each one of them. They're probably the exact same levels, but the difference being who you picked as far as your timeline. Seems like collectibles that we now know about are also part of that, that they combine together. And for the extras, we knew Enigma codes existed. However, now the thing is, since we have some of them, we can see some of these Enigma codes change into something different. There's 0 through 9, and it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Completely. And perhaps there's some combination that we would have to sit here and play with eventually. But I bet you can't even begin to crack the Enigma codes until you have everything, and there's 4 of those throughout the game, and those are gotten through collectibles, and we don't really need to look at the art. We'll check all of that later, and we don't really need to look at the characters. If I click view here, not a 3D model, just a standard 2D model. Recordings, we haven't even found any of those, so that's a bit of a spoiler too. And I guess we can now look at statistics, and in my time played, while I have a rank of F right now, I'm 6%, or I was 6% done with the game. So the thing I didn't really explain here, as I'm showing all the settings, is for some reason when I updated my recording software, it changed the video settings to use use more of the processor, actually. And I have 6-core processor that's very fast, but apparently not fast enough to run this 2014 game at the ultra video settings and record the video at 1080p 60 frames per second smoothly. So while I was playing the game, the video looked perfectly fine. There was a slight issue that eventually I said VT compression should be on instead of off. Everything else here is still very much at the highest setting, and we're gonna keep it that way for now. There is a possibility that we may find out that we need to lower the shader resolutions or the max pages per frame, maybe turn down the Vcache sizes, maybe just turn everything down to ultra, which you can see that when everything is at ultra, some of these things are still set lower than they can be, so I have it set to a higher than what they even expected it to be playable. I have seen some people online complain about some issues with this game being a bad PC port. I haven't determined that to be the something that's affecting my computer right now and the version of this game. I'm also turning on loot hint, so that's kind of all we need to know, and we're just gonna start over again. It just wouldn't be fair for me as a video game critic to put out 2 hours of footage of me playing the game and it turned out to look way more laggy than it actually was. It was lagging every single second on the video. It never lagged in the game. That would be unethical of a video game critic to put out that footage. So I'm going to start over again. You didn't miss much. You mostly missed me having trouble figuring out certain buttons because the button prompts aren't super clearly labeled, as you will see, and me struggling with the difficulty because, frankly, I'm just not good at this. And I'm not good at first-person shooting up to the level. And getting to that point, as we start here, I'm going to switch right down to Don't Hurt Me. I may go back down to Can I Play Daddy. We started on Bring 'Em On, and in the tutorial I died 7 times, I believe. So hopefully, maybe on easy difficulty, we will die a little bit less. But several of the times I died were actually just tutorial things. So let's begin. They were actions I still don't have full control or understanding of on the controllers. A lot of the button layouts also are, in my opinion, in the wrong places. It said get psyched there for a second.
In my dream I smell the barbecue.
Oh yes, I also turned up the voices to the maximum.
The dog.
And to me, it's still too quiet.
I see someone. I think I see someone. These things. None of it for me. I'm moved by roaring engines. I'm lone warriors. We come from the night.
Eyes open, Blazkowicz. You keep a lookout. I need to go for a piss. A shout!
Now, we start in this tutorial level with 2 people flying this plane that probably should have like 20 people on it. So I'm gonna see if I can speed this rather quickly and we can have a better experience in this tutorial section. It's basically it's trying to get you to understand the button prompts. It's trying to get you to understand walking and finding places. So I actually died here by... I'm cutting with the right trigger, by the way. I missed this car and didn't cut it. And so the game just game over me in the tutorial section. And you can see we're not really taking any time to look at any of this stuff. And that's kind of what they want. Now they mentioned Death's Head, and Death's Head was in the previous game that we looked at. Here's a pickup I didn't even see before. I'm not sure if I'm gonna still be able to get all the collectibles. So Death's Head was the enemy in Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and the enemy in the reboot of Wolfenstein, just called Wolfenstein, in 2009. And they pretty much don't say that that one's canon, and that one's not even available for purchase. It was made by Activision Blizzard, interestingly enough.
Cherries off! Up to the turret, Blazkowicz. Go, go! Clean kills. Mind our friendlies.
So we've got these planes here that have technology way ahead of what looks like even something you would have even possibly in modern time. And yet there's a lot of also other planes here that you're trying not to hit. So I just did a way better job than I did the first time. And there's only so many I can shoot at. And you want to normally in a gun of this at time, you would either have computer aided or mechanical aided lead ahead so that the bullets would actually hit B ahead of where the plane was flying. Where? I didn't see it.
At the gates again.
I didn't even see that plate.
Can't reach you today.
There's a ton
War to win.
of cutscene in this section, and this is really just here to show you a cutscene and show you your health at the bottom, which your health and armor is really just this remnant, this thing that probably shouldn't be here. I would much prefer the new style of auto healing after a while, and you still have that. But so this plane has to fly out of formation.
Pull the handle up there by those flashing lights. Much obliged, Captain.
See, I'm supposed to be assisting the pilot here, who's outranks me, I imagine.
Smoke. I see solution coming off your rudders. Your freeze ailerons are done. Yeah, this thing handles like a concrete fridge.
So you do have to find health, and you do have to find armor. If you're playing on very easy, it's not a big deal. Playing on normal, you actually have to know what you're doing.
Who's this? Private Wyatt! You're not airborne! Alright, bear boy. Listen up, pay close attention. Now, you see the pilot's wheel? Yes, sir! Right, I want you to grab
This ship's about to go down. We can barely even see it through all the smoke and the screen, which is realistic, but man, do I want to be closer and just be able to see. If they were going to give new technology to the Nazis, they might as well have given some better window technology.
Have a man ready by the side door. You are getting visitors.
So this guy is about to jump out this door.
Get the cockpit door open. You're gonna have to hold it open. Then follow my lead.
He's going to jump onto that plane. This would never work in a million years.
Here we go.
This is insanity. And it's only here to teach you this long jump ability. And my health is back down to 12. So run forward and press the left stick and A. And see, I'm in black and white. I wasn't this way before because I stepped in the fire and burned myself. And at this point you think, okay, the tutorial's over, we're gonna land, we're gonna start the first mission, right? No. We're nowhere close.
Sir.
This is part of the first mission.
What's the score, Cat?
And here we have a cutscene we could skip or not.
Same as always.
Hoorah, sir.
So this is the guy we can meet. This is the guy we can meet. Can't go any further with these guys. And there's a health kit you can get, which ideally you do want to be right back down. There should be another health kit. I thought somewhere around here. I guess not. Must be in the next room. There's several people here, and it feels like you would talk to them if it was that kind of game. So I just took 80 health, and because I took 80 health, I'm overcharged on my health now, above 100, which is cool, but then it slowly goes down, so it's kind of a useless ability. And so you see two specific people here, and it didn't even make sense that these are important characters. So he wants me to get him off the floor, so I just slap him around.
Thank you, sir. If the mission fails, we lose Europe. It's that simple.
Okay now.
So we can't go down into this cockpit
Damn it.
section, and we can't go back
If you
here.
don't stop this head now, Fergus, that window is closed forever. We will lose this war. Aye, go ahead.
So, just to quickly go over, we looked at Beyond Castle Wolfenstein, that came out in 1984. Well, no, we didn't look at the 1984 Beyond Castle Wolfenstein. That was the second game in the series. Originally was Castle Wolfenstein, not made by id, in 1981.
1946. Everything has gone to shit.
This is 1946.
At an astonishing rate. We can't catch up. Our tactics are failing.
Which is
Classed and
ridiculous.
outgunned. No one knows why. People
They've
are
got
getting
all
desperate.
kinds of technology,
Not me.
all kinds of magic.
See an old friend and settle a score. Turn this thing around.
This intro does make BJ Blazkowicz, the main character you're playing as, a much more likable character than I would have seen before. Before this, in any of the previous games, I really just kind of thought of him as like a Duke Nukem-like character, somebody that is just gonna spout off jokes and try to shoot as many people as possible. And see, the Nazis have these giant robot dogs. Well, maybe cyborg dogs, because I think it might be run by like a dog's brains and machines. And giant Star Wars-like machines that we'll see more of later. And better planes by far. Just a slight advantage of speed would probably win a war in the form of a plane. So you can hit your right stick to click it down to break things. Now it wants you to press forward on left stick and down to sprint and slide. So sprint and slide right under it. Not too bad.
A beast built by Death's Head. Should have killed that man long ago.
So yeah, apparently there was 2 games where he was trying to kill Death's Head and it didn't happen. Although it would be a little bit spoilery, but I will say that he doesn't seem like he's gonna play a big part in the gameplay anyways. Maybe he'll be just a boss. So I'm supposed to get under here. I can not really swipe my weapon, and there's really no health. So we're just swimming. I also imagine you will very rarely, if ever again, swim in this game. They just wanted this cutscene. This is almost a BioShock reference here for a game that doesn't need that, or shouldn't have it. We have more of our dead soldiers. And you can see there's a marker telling us where to go. Oh, it seems like it is getting darker and darker though. I am running out of oxygen. Interesting. I wonder if I really would die after a while. So, things you don't know yet. There's a giant walker. I shouldn't pay any attention to that, though. You're gonna die a lot. Particularly here, I died before. But I actually had died about 3 or 4 times before this. I don't know what the things at the top on these loading screens, which are kind of long, considering I have an SSD. I would hope, even for a 2014 game that looks amazing, that these load sections would have been a little bit quicker. I'm not saying that I would expect it to completely not happen at all, but it would be nice. So there's a map. If you press down, it doesn't tell us that.
Calm down, you wee sir. Glasgow, you want to hear my plan for how we traverse this glamorous beachfront without being fair affronted?
So a lot of prettiness here in this level, but you don't get to see too much of it. Then we have to come up here and talk to
where
him.
the devil are you going? Perhaps we...
And then you just cut into a cutscene immediately.
There's a high-powered machine gun nest in those trenches over there. We cannot advance a unit without being slaughtered. So, I want you to make your way over into those trenches and take them.
Just notice how the cutscene audio is really quiet compared to the regular audio.
Put this on. I'll radio up.
It's almost like the master volume doesn't control cutscene or voice volume. So we've got a new gun. We're ready to go. And we're supposed to go that way. And this is where the game is going to start for real. To see if, as we're running down no man's land here, taking little bits of damage, we're going to see if we can handle the game at this level.
Alright, you're in.
At easy.
Disable the machine gun nest.
So, there's two of the enemy over there. I shot him. And I'm going to work my way this direction. I've turned on object highlighting so we can see things that we're supposed to pick up. By default, it's not on. I think that's probably a huge mistake. But we are also going to eventually see that there's just a ton of things that you can pick up. And you can't shoot this thing. You've got to hit right bump to throw these grenades. Which you're like, okay, that's fine. Except for, if you hold down right bump, it's also your weapon select. So, anytime you accidentally just tap the right bump trying to switch a weapon, you are going to throw a grenade. It's a terrible decision of where to put a...
We'll need a respite. Have enough troubles with that walking Nazi war machine. That giant bloody stumper.
which button to pick.
Now, try to find an entrance.
There's going to be a lot of helmets.
There are 2 cannons up there I need you to eliminate. I'm taking the unit up along the beach.
They give you 5 armor. So just imagine that BJ Blazkowicz here, or William as they're going to call him, is stacking helmet. Just imagine he's stacking helmets on top of his head. Just a comedical amount of helmets. You see there's some bullet refills here that we can hit multiple times to pick up things. And that's it. Now this scene particular, I could not figure out. And I died. And I want to just give you a moment while I go over the timeline to imagine myself here. I didn't die actually. I just kept on trying to figure out the buttons. I can barely read what the controller says. It says hold down left bump and press a stick. And it looks like the left stick down to lean under. So does that mean clicking the left stick or does that mean moving it? And I kept holding the left bump and moving the right stick because I couldn't read the L and it just didn't work. But to get to the timeline, I want to cover this quickly. Wolfenstein 3D really was the 3rd game in the series, but it was the first game made by id. And kind of, I think, the only game, except for the DLC Spear of Destiny made by id. And then they just licensed it out to the rest of people. And they made that game based on the 1981 game Castle Wolfenstein, which was very, very rudimentary game. And its sequel, 1984, Beyond Castle Wolfenstein. We've looked in the spotlight to Return of Castle Wolfenstein, which is probably the first game that you might want to go back and play, but it's still not really there because it doesn't have controller support. It looks like something that, if it was ported and tweaked in a few places, might be a good mobile game. The multiplayer for Return to Castle Wolfenstein came out in 2003 as its own separate thing called Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. No real reason to even try to own that or play that because there's almost certainly nobody online to play with you. They made a cell phone RPG version of Wolfenstein called Wolfenstein RPG in 2008 that wasn't received very well and you can't get online for cell phones anymore. And then there is the sort of reboot Wolfenstein game just called Wolfenstein in 2009, made by Activision Blizzard, sometimes called Wolfenstein the Black Sun. And frankly, almost none of those games are worth playing at all. Owning, sure, Wolfenstein 3D, maybe give it 5 minutes to play, but you can just jump to the New Order where we are here and start. And there's, in the couple hours I played, there was really no extra catch-up needed, no explanation. The real problems here were things like this, where this is what I was doing probably for a lot longer than it took me to read that whole list. Just this, and like trying to do things like this, and sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. But the trick here is you hold down left bump, you don't click in the left stick, you press down. And this is all here just to get you to learn this, and they've specially programmed the enemy with his foot right there for me to shoot. So this door would open so I can shoot him. And now we have an assault rifle. And now we can iron sight people. And I would say probably at this point we would have died about 6 times the first time on normal difficulty. So they're saying that big stomper machine is useless to shoot at, so don't even try. This is also the point where the game told me that you can have perks in this game. Still, in all my couple hours of gameplay, haven't figured out how to use them. Maybe it's... but you can certainly see them. They are over here, and I haven't unlocked any yet. So you have to unlock all your perks each gameplay. If you did really want to know who Deathhead is, you can see him there. Oddly, the collectibles have already been collected, so that's not even going to be an issue. It's kind of nice, though, that I'm getting to start over, because that means this time I can play and get the collectibles that we didn't have before. So I'm putting my head down, which is really stupid. Don't even bother trying to attack this guy. We'll try to go in different directions than what I did. It's a lot of guns, a lot of bullets. Kind of silly even knowing what happens in the second level, which I won't spoil. It's kind of silly even playing this game trying to like have a full amount of ammo and health. There's see, I am doing way better on easy than normal. It's a very sharp difference. People are going down quicker by a little bit, and my health is staying up for a lot longer. And doesn't really seem like there's gonna be anything too crazy here. In fact, in this whole section with these electric fences, I guess this is their version of barbed wire, so you can't climb and jump in. So, let's throw that, and it didn't do anything. so I wasn't supposed to blow up that one. There's some weirdness certainly about which chests open and which don't. It seems like the pure brown ones will open and nothing else will. And see, there was a map here. The map that I have here. And so collectibles aren't going to respawn, which kind of sucks. Little areas where you can poke your head through and shoot guns, I guess. But then I guess that also just makes it a little bit easier for the player that are going to play a second time through, and there certainly might be some reasons why you'd want to play a second time through. So this is the far edge where you could come out this direction and be susceptible to people shooting at you. I thought this would have been a minefield because I figured that's exactly what this said, but nope. This guy was dead here, but his head was exploded last time, which tells me things are different. And these little fires will hurt you if you step on them. You could have just as easily run this way and avoided that whole area. So now the dogs come out, which we didn't see in Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and I was expecting them. Oddly, you don't see swastikas in the game yet either. Now I'm gonna not shoot this next dog that shows up because I want to show the animation of stabbing. You have to pull the left trigger to stab him in the neck, and that took less time to even kill the dogs on easy compared to normal. There's a big difference. Too large of a difference in my opinion. And too much collectibles here. Particularly since I kind of know. Like, there's gold, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find the gold without a map or something. A secondary map. So far, it feels very much like just your standard first-person, like, shooter, military shooter game. With some glitches, because this was made by Bethesda Works. You may have seen that a bullet clip just hovered in the air when it went to that menu. That is not uncommon, because that happened when I played before, too. So, like, Bethesda Works, makers of games like the main Fallout series, and, well, Fallout 3 and 4, I guess would be a better way to put that, and Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls series, are not known for having particularly well-programmed, bug-free games. Like, I'm enjoying this a lot. So we can switch guns, by the way. And then it becomes left and right trigger guns.
This ain't war. A breaking of seals. The undoing of life itself.
And you assume that that line of dialogue is B.J. Blazkowicz that says that. I assume that is. I don't know. However, for certain. We'll see a lot of doors that can't be opened, a lot of decent number of dead bodies with nothing super important on them, just attempting to keep your armor high, attempting to keep your bullets at max. If you do dual guns, you can't. Iron sight, which is this, and I don't think you're ever going to get two of these, or at least anytime soon. And what is this? I don't know, but it was here the first time I played too. It seems almost like it should be something of importance, but it isn't. Where are we on the map? We are right here, and so there was a couple doorways that would have maybe connected this way and made this almost like a multiplayer map. They're trying to still tutorializing us. We're very, very, even though I've been running through this game compared to the first time I played it, still just going through a tutorial mission. So you do a right stick and that's a takedown, and as long as they don't notice you, and even if they do notice you, they also will be taken down just fine. However, you have this issue of people showing up when you're not paying attention, or when you're looking for things to pick up off the ground, which might certainly explain why they don't have items highlight like that. So now we have a handgun that we can dual run, and I believe at a certain point, not yet, so we won't spoil that, there's something you can certainly do with handguns that you can't do with fully automatic guns, and most people can probably guess what that is. So this is the introduction to the idea of stealth. I seriously doubt the game has any intention for anybody to ever play it fully stealth, particularly this first mission. Maybe later missions might make some sense to do it that way, but take out the commanders. So, commanders can radio for reinforcements. If you manage to take them out of an area without being detected, they will not be able to set off alarms and call for backup. If you move in guns blazing and kill the commanders quickly before they have time to use the radio, commanders will continue to call for backup until they are dead. So, we have a new idea, and we see a signal is detected, and we can see people. So let's assume that's a commander. I ran out of handgun ammo. So that fight was way easier the second time around because I actually killed the commander. Here he is. Had I failed in that mission, they would have run over to this, or over to this. So you can't even really cut him off on this case because there's two different ways he could have run. A lot of boxes. The boxes have a very bad tendency to break in just completely different directions, and there often is something in them. Here's a swastika, but easy to overlook. I didn't see one the first time I did it. So here's the deal. There's a collectible over there on the left. Oh well, at the top of the map. I first time just played this way. That's why I don't have the collectible. That's why I'm gonna go get it now. And we'll see what it is. See, I see a commander. Can I iron sight him? Or just blow him up? Did I kill the commander? No, I didn't. put some covering fire down. So here's some explosives that I'd never got before. And some more things. So I am here. And we want... I imagine you can't go too far this direction. It's just a bunker in the door. Which... So this whole path here is blocked off. And I'm sure just a little bit off screen, the people were spawning and I was having to fight more enemies because of that. Because I allowed the commander to set off an alarm. I didn't fully understand the concept that normal people couldn't go set off an alarm. It kind of makes it seem like a very ridiculous alarm system. And like, only the commander is authorized to set off alarms. And see, I'm picking up health, and it's overcharging my health, but it doesn't matter. Not at all. And we need to place this. How far back do I need to be? Probably a little bit further than that.
Cannons are perched on the upper levels of the cliffside bunker. You have to put them out of commission. We have people in the air and those cannons are blasting us out of the sky.
So, we are here in the second map. And there's a couple of yellow indicators that we're supposed to find. Here we can see some of their pinup models. I do like games with pinup models in them. Just as a thing, it doesn't get done enough. So we found an Enigma code. There's two ways into this place. And I think I've come in the loud way instead of the quiet way, which is certainly good. So there's a guy over there with a machine gun that's shooting me. And alarms have been triggered. If I had come in the other way, it would have definitely been more focused on the stealth gameplay. There doesn't seem like there's anything breakable on the alarm system. So now we've got a map, which is nice, certainly. And I never even came down this way. At this point I had died about 10 times, and so frustrated with it that I wasn't even trying to like I've unlocked a new perk called Throwback, which I didn't have. Unlocks the ability to throw back grenades. Interesting. But oddly, some of the other things that I had before, I haven't unlocked. So I don't know if I haven't reloaded enough or what. Like, I'm reloading a lot. Maybe I need to reload not so often, but at the right time. That could certainly be it. Opens from the other side. Interesting. Interesting. Here's another thing I did not even look at, and remember, we're in the tutorial level. This is like way too much. This is the first level, but it is also the tutorial level, and you kind of need to separate the two. Like, you can't have both. I'm not gonna probably find another gun, though. A gold medal. Like, in fact, I think I've already found more guns than I did the first time. So that collectibles was just a piece of gold. So the question marks include both gold and Enigma things. So the things I didn't, you won't see is the chalice and several Enigma pieces of paper that were just sitting around. I'll see if I can point out where they were. So, in the other direction, it's not even really worth doing, but you would come in right through here. It's just kind of a tunnel that locks you into this place, and there's certainly a decent number of Nazis there. You walk down this way, there's one Nazi patrolling this way that you're supposed to stealth assassinate. There's one guy walking down this way that you're supposed to stealth assassinate, and there's literally nothing else. I would take this gun off its mount, but it's slow and it stops you from moving as fast, and it runs out of bullets unless you put it back on its mount. Let's go ahead and switch to this just for variety's sake. Here's an interesting thing. This looks most definitely like a camera, and yet it's not. Or it's a camera that doesn't care that it sees you. Now, sometimes you hear them say Jawohl, which I think just means yes, sir, in German. So it's a little confusing. Double reloading. Is anybody up there? Destructible environment. Finally I get double reload. Which I'm not sure exactly how it works at all. I guess maybe you just hold down X or what? I don't know. The perk system actually never explains itself. Like, where is double reload? Here. Increase the reload speed while dual wielding. Dual wield kills 10. So you know what you're supposed to do. Grenade kills 10 now. Kill while sprint sliding, slide wielding, or single wield or dual wield. Ooh. So some of these specifically are going to require you to be pretty specific. Do 5 stealth takedowns, and a lot of these are just like unlock the previous perk. So there is now this. Alright, so if I do this, I've got to do this, and like I don't even remember how to slide.
To the cliff wall directly below Death's Head's compound. Gonna take a lot of fucking rope to climb up there.
Feels like there's slightly less people on easy too. I was still playing it, I think, on normal at this point. Eventually, no, this was right when I turned it down to the easiest. So can I play daddy level. There may have been an Enigma code, I think, like right here, or leather or some kind of collectible in this area. If not in this area, then most definitely in this area. More health. Of course, picking up a bunch of health doesn't really help anything. Of course, now that we have the map too, we kind of know. So it wants me to do this. Left stick down, click the left stick, slide with the B button, and shoot while doing it. And it wants me to do that how many times? 3. It also wants me to kill 9 people with the grenades. And it wants me to perform a headshot with a handgun. And it wants me to do 5 silent takedowns. So we can probably do a headshot with a handgun pretty easily. There. Oddly, the guns are not reloaded when you switch, which tells you that this game is taking itself a little bit more seriously as a shooter than a lot of them. Interesting, he de-jammed the gun for really no reason, just as an animation. Well, let's go. We still got a little bit. He's now got 2 bullets in the chamber, if I was to guess. They've got some idle animations clearly here that are happening. Now I'm gonna hope and cross my fingers that the game is not lagging for you. It certainly hasn't lagged at all for me. Some of the cutscenes on rare occasions would drop a frame or 2, but not I just got Deadeye, which means I can go ahead and throw a grenade and see if maybe I can shoot more people that way. Let's not die.
Hey, that's very good, Captain, but there's one more cannon further up still firing at our birds. We started climbing the cliff wall below the castle. Hurry up and meet us at the top.
So where are we? Here? There was probably no opportunity for stealth takedowns there. Here's another machine gun. So there is one cool thing you can do, however, since we've taken out this gunner, we can use the gunner. And because we can use the gunner, we can do this. Now the music isn't muted. This is just literally the first time the game apparently was programmed to play music. Aim for the eye, take out the stomper. Remember, he said bullets don't work. Didn't say anything about a cannon not working.
Was that you annihilating the stomper, Captain? That is some fine shooting.
However, this thing is way too slow to actually hit any planes. Like, I would have to have such like a lead to know where those planes were coming. I'd probably hit my own ship. Like, that's just never gonna happen. So, forget that. Does killing the stomper really do anything for you? Not as far as I can tell. It seems to just be maybe an achievement. Some of these achievements though certainly are crazy. So here we have Ein, Drei, Zwei. Ein is German for 1, Zwei is 2, and Drei is 3. And here we have a article by the Führer, and we had something blink over there, and it shouldn't have done that. So there was a collectible here. You have to do 1, 3, 2, and it opens this door exactly as it's written here. Of course, you have to know how to count to 3 in German to do that. And then there was an Enigma code, I believe, right there. And now we've got the silencer ability. So, if you want to use the handgun, you then press right on the right stick, and you've got your silencer. Which, okay, cool enough, although it kind of proves itself to be a little pointless to have. Let's see if we can do some stealth kills this direction in the shooting gallery. Yeah, that certainly wouldn't have been a great way to do stealth kills. So I imagine a silenced pistol doesn't work that well, as well as a regular gun, unless you are in a stealth situation. I could have tried the slide and shoot. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see. No, it's gonna kill me if I do that. Maybe I could do this and shoot something. But the guy's way over there. There, your helmet falling down. And there may have been a collectible in this room. I don't know for certain if there was. Could have kind of snuck around here. There's some items this way too. Trying to potentially let you get around places. I could imagine sneaking around this outer edge and people not catching you. Or you can just, you know, pick up everything and be ready. Get your health to at least 100%, and that's kind of all you need. And these little crates don't break. And this door doesn't open. You can see even though that on the map. I think there might have been a collectible. There are different types of weapons. So I do not like how that breaks at all. You'd think these valves might do something, but they don't seem to. Or at least not as far as I can tell. This may have been a collectible. Not a ton of destructible environment. More health, more bullets. All kinds of things that you want. There's a lot of pressing X in this game, I've noticed too, though. Because you just... You'd think you'd just walk over a bullet and pick it up. But no, you have to press X. And every time you do it, it's a big hassle. It's a lot of breaking down. Oddly, too, in an hour of gameplay, this is pretty much where I stopped my first hour of gameplay again, too. So, fingers crossed. Second time's a charm. I've changed basically one thing from the way I played it the first time, and I played a lot better. And still it took the same amount of time, which goes to show you that this tutorial mission goes on forever. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.